You ever in full meltdown rage? Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do first. I'm so anxious, so scared, so sad, so frustrated, so nervous, beyond control of your emotions. Almost like all the emotions are swirling and you kind of don't even know which one to handle first. If you've ever been in a situation like this video is for you. As you know, I'm Leslie Urbis. I'm a registered dietitian and a personal trainer and a nervous system expert, as well as an energy work expert. And this video is really truly for you when you get beyond control. Okay. The biggest key at this moment, when all things feel beyond control, is that you need to go the right way for you. So I'm going to give you in this video 4 ways to go to start the journey. And it's pinnacle that every time this starts to happen for you, you play with a different option to see which one is best. Because that's sort of what it is. The nervous system isn't going to be the same for everybody. And what regulates one may not regulate the other. And you might need a combination of these things. Okay. So when you've hit that wall and you feel out of control with everything going on, here are the 4 things I would try. The first one I typically try is to move my human body. Okay. So movement to control. This can be taking a walk. It can be hitting a punching bag. It can be feeding a pillow. It could be screaming into the pillow and beating the pillow. It could be taking a pillow and slamming it as hard as you physically can down on the bed. It can be push-ups. It can be sit-ups. It can be burpees. It can be whatever that physically moves your human body to release all of the things that are swirling. Because when they're all swirling and demanding our attention, it's really hard for us to be like, oh, yeah, that's sadness and that's anger and that's anxious and that's whatever, when it's new to us to regulate. So, when those things begin to get out of control, it's important to go to movement as number one, in my opinion. Okay. The second way of releasing this, you learned in other previous videos, but it's taking a lion's breath. It could be that you physically need to get the noise, the huh, out of your body. And so you take a deep breath in and you and like a lion and you get it all out and you like do that, right? I've seen in like parenting videos, like yelling words like bananas and like "Bajijis." Like I say that a lot. I say "Bajijis" all the time. And it's like to my kids, I'm like, "Bajijis" when I want to yell, when I want to scream, instead of cursing, because it feels good to say "Bajijis" or poppycock or blah, like to get that physical words out of your mouth. So notice the first one was to get the physical body involved. And the second one was to get the physical voice involved. I find a combination of these sometimes to be very soothing for me as a combination of I'm going to get my body moving. So sometimes it's just like me going in really big, firm action and getting it all out and getting it all out and getting it all out and blah. Because when you do that, you move that energy through and allow it to process because emotions are 90 seconds. Our feelings are 90 seconds. And so when we let them be processed out, they no longer control us. But if prior to now, your emotions were never allowed. You never allowed yourself to be upset. You were a people pleaser. You were always smiling. You never let yourself get frustrated. Those emotions are now bigger because you're like, oh, no, I can't have this anger. I can't have this frustration. I can't have this anxiety. I can't have this. And we're pushing them all away. And so when you start to let it go, it can feel completely overwhelming because you've never actually let yourself let it go before. And so it can be years, right? They say like you can sweep anything under the rug as many times as you want to sweep it under the rug, but it's just going to make the rug lumpy until you deal with all the things. Okay. So that's number one and number two. The third thing I typically do is I will place my finger in my ear and I will rotate my thumb forward 5 times. I'll typically feel the need to take a big deep breath. I will physically start to feel better. I'll almost feel like headspace is cleared. And then I typically follow it up by pulling gently down on my ear, okay? Almost creating space. That one always makes me yawn. And then the other one always makes me yawn because it's like a reset in my mind. And as you see, I kind of like look up and I explore my environment. This one I feel has become really helpful to me when I've already managed the stress that's around other things. So if it feels stress beyond control some days, I need number one and number two. I need to get it out in those directions versus number three, where it's a systematic, okay, if I can just release this and come back to my environment. And I typically look out a window as I'm looking at this beautiful green tree. And I love to see all the textures and colors that just represent in each little green leaf, and how they look different in the sunlight versus the shade or clouds or whatever. And it's just beautiful. And that makes me come back to home. Okay. And then the last thing that I will do to reset is to physically close my eyes for anywhere from a minute to five. Just allowing my body to process through all of the things and allowing them to be there. And I will actually speak to the angry part and be like, I see you, angry part. I know and acknowledge you. I see you, frustration. I know and acknowledge you. I see you, sadness. I know and acknowledge you. I see you're all a part of me and that you're pinnacle to this experience with me. And I find that as I do this, I'm able to then come back. Okay. So these are the 4 tips I would do. And then I typically like to physically get into my body and place my hands on my heart and say, okay, with everything I have just moved, how would I like to move on from here? If everything around me changed and I could have what I actually desire, what would I want to change? And then I bring my focus to the feelings I want to have and I bring those into my body. So if it's peace, calm, rest, recuperation, feeling good in my body again, I bring those feelings in and I come back. So, as I said, it could be a combination of all these things that really give you this emotion, but it's pinnacle for you to understand that these all need to be there and you need to feel good in your body doing what feels good to you in that moment. And sometimes it's going to look like pounding it out. Sometimes it's going to look like the breath. Sometimes it's going to look like the ear check. And sometimes it's going to look like I'm just going to close my eyes, even while I stand here in this line. Just going to close my eyes and rest my arms on the grocery cart in front of me and just process through. Allowing you to be human in your own human body is awesome. And when you do that, you can move through things and reset the system, reset the nervous system, reset the vagus nerve, reset your body. And by doing that, you speed up your metabolism, you improve gut health, you improve mind, you improve mentality. I joke because I'm not wearing makeup today, and I feel like, wow, my face just looks better today because I've been utilizing the tools. And when I forget and I go back, I don't make it mean anything, but I can tell typically in my face because I'm holding on to things. And it's true. The more we can be at peace, the less oxidative stress and the less aging processes that occur. So we can, quote unquote, anti-age with mindfulness, with reset, with being ourselves. So if you've never tried this before, I encourage you, try it. And that's all. Bye for now.